Hey everybody, welcome to Strength Coach TV. I'm Anthony Rana. This is the show. We go inside some of the country's best gyms, give you a tour, and then we sit down with the owners and we talk a little bit of shop. We're brought to you by the Marigold Food Company, Marigold Bars and Snacks, marigoldbars.com. I love this company, family-owned company, small batch. They're making these bars in small batches, grass-fed protein, gluten and soy-free, non-GMO, organic ingredients, no preservatives. You got to put them in the refrigerator or they'll go bad because there's no preservatives. And they taste amazing. That's the most important part, right? Well, low sugar is pretty important. Today's bar for me, oatmeal cookie, one of my favorites. I probably like the dark and salty better, which I had last time, but I definitely love the oatmeal cookies. Anyway, today we are heading down to New York City to the Fortitude Strength Club. Dan Trink. Dan is a leader in our industry. He's been somebody, he has a book out. He's been somebody who kind of leads the way with education. And what's really interesting, you don't know if you're going down to a speakeasy or an S&M club or a gym at the fort. Very cool. You'll see as we go down. I took some footage of me going down the different steps. I feel like I was going into the old Get Smart show. But Dan's doing some great things down there. They've really kind of captured this semi-private model with blending a lot of different methods together. So let's head down to 21st Street and the Fort. All right, hey guys, we are in New York City at the Fortitude Strength Club.
Correct.
I am here with Dan Trink. Dan, thanks for doing this, man.
Of course,
really
Anthony,
appreciate
man.
it.
Yeah, pleasure having you.
Really interesting concept here. Just even like walking in, I felt like I was that old TV show, Get Smart, right? I mean, you're going down the stairs. People saw that on the way in when I came in.
Yeah,
but
we often tell people if you can find it, you've kind of mastered the hardest part.
That's it, man. That's it. And people complain about parking a lot. This is even worse.
Yeah.
Dan, what's the square footage here?
So we're looking at about 2,000 square feet of usable space.
2,000. Okay.
Yeah. So definitely not the roomiest of facilities, but in New York City for a semi-private training gym, pretty good.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Like in New York City, most of the time you would want to maybe put your bed over there too for that.
Right. Yeah.
So how long you guys been doing this? How long you been here?
So we just celebrated our 2-year anniversary. We started up and running with the program and getting all our clients in like middle of January 2016.
Okay, nice,
Yeah.
nice. What kind of membership base here? Are you doing personal training? Is it group training? Is it semi-private? What do you got?
So it's interesting. So when we started, we thought it was going to be a mix of like one-on-one training at a high premium and really trying to drive people to this semi-private.
Yeah.
But we found that people kind of adapted to the semi-private really quickly. Kyle, my business partner, and I, we came from training one-on-one. That's where like kind of our core group of clients came. We thought maybe some of those people were going to want to stay there, but we got them into the small groups really quickly and kind of abandoned the one-on-one training almost really right out of the gate when it just wasn't like a really hot ticket item. So everything here is small group up to 4 people at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were saying you ramped them up with a one-on-one though?
We thought we were going to have to, and we had such a small membership in the beginning, to be honest, that a lot of sessions were one-on-one. But as we filled up and people realized the value of having training partners, the energy of that, working with other people, and quite honestly, like that was one of our drivers to open the business. Like we always trained in small groups when we trained ourselves. We felt like we got better results. It was just a more fun session, and it's more focused on training than, hey, what movie did you go to? When it's like kind of that one-on-one thing that's happened to us in the past, and people like kind of gravitated towards it. So I don't even know if we've ever even done a one-on-one session here. It was it was on our roster. It was on our list of services for a while, but I don't think anybody ever took us up on it. So it's always just been small groups up to 4 people per coach.
Nice, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. But you're using Train Heroic, and they're a sponsor on the Strength Coach podcast, and we talk to them about, like I try to tell people, like, look, it's not only a good possible other revenue stream, but it's a good value add for your clients, but it's also a great way to ramp up the new clients on their own, or the home program, like, hey, do this at home, just so they can kind of get used to stuff and kind of ramp up a little bit quicker.
Yeah, it gives them, like, takes away a little bit of the anxiety of, like, what is the program, because they see it laid out right in front of them. You know, we have people who train multiple days a week, but not every day, so they can see the program before they come in to decide, you know, if they feel like they are training twice this week and want to make sure they get back squat day in, they know what day that is of the week, so they can come in.
Cool.
And it also really helps them, like, just track their progress, so they know what their front squat numbers were last week, and they can kind of adjust and make good decisions on, like, weight choices, rep choices, and that stuff for the following weeks.
Yeah. What are the prices? I mean, because New York City obviously is always a little different. So, what are your prices for membership types or group training types?
So we have all our memberships are monthly memberships.
Okay.
And we do it on a number of sessions per week. So 2 times per week comes out to $550 per month. So that's around, if you do the math, around $67 per session. Then it goes to $750 for 3 times a week. So that drops it down to about $62. Then there's a 4 times a week session for $899. And that drops it down to about $57 a session.
Yeah.
So the more you commit to, obviously, the more it is per month, but the less it is per session you come in.
Yeah.
The majority of our members are actually unlimited members, but we've actually sold out of those memberships at the moment. You know, we have a limited number of members that we can take in entirety. We had a limited number of unlimited memberships that we could sell just based on the schedule per day.
Yeah.
So we're sold out of those, and that's just a slightly higher price point, but also brings the cost per session down.
Yeah, and like we said, there's other value adds. Like sometimes when you try to break a group down into per session, and you want to get them out of that mindset, but you guys have the Train Heroic app, you have some other things going on. There's so much more value than just, okay, you did 8 sessions, it really comes down to $67.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a lot more going on here.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure, like, people watching this who are, like, in smaller cities are like, $750 a month, like, it's crazy. But in New York City, those are, like, not out of the realm of prices.
Exactly.
I mean, if you think even at our, like, highest price point, where we're at $67 a session, when we were training one-on-one on the same block, it was $150, $170, $200 an hour.
Yeah.
So I mean, we cut down that price, you know, by a third for people. So. And the value is pretty high. So people are used to paying those prices. I realize that it can sound kind of crazy here, but a spin class in New York City is $40.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And another good thing is, you know, it's a little after 11 right now. There's some people in the gym, which in a lot of places, 11 o'clock, man, you're done for another 4 hours unless you got some kids coming in.
Right.
But with New York, man, city never sleeps. People are up till 4, waking up at 11. Okay, man, they're coming in. So you got a little advantage there.
For sure. And we get people from, listen, the majority of our clientele are corporate executives, right?
Yeah.
Like finance people, lawyers, what you would expect in New York City. But people now work alternate jobs with different schedules. So our 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 11 a.m., usually pretty full on most days. So that's working out really great.
Very cool. Let's go get a tour of the place.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey guys, welcome to the Fort, short for Fortitude Strength Club here in New York City. If you made your way down through the catacombs to our front door, you found us, and the best facility in NYC is right behind the store, so let's check it out.
All right, hold on, wait. We got an empty fridge here. I'm in New York City. I'd be a little nervous about putting some stuff in here. What's going on with this fridge?
We just partnered up with Deliciously Fit Meals. They do some meal delivery service down here.
Cool.
You know, it's their own business. We just use their meals. We've been eating them ourselves. So they asked if they could put in a fridge for their membership to pick up meals that they drop off. So we were like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, because some people don't have to be a member for those things, right? To order, and then there'll be a lock on this, right? And they'll, okay, cool.
Yeah. So people just come in, pick up their meals, and they're good to go.
I gotta tell some of my homeless friends, come on down.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
On their stuff. All right. Great.
3, 2, 1.
I love this right here.
Yeah.
The logo.
This is great. Yeah, this is awesome. So one of our members actually painted this for us. She's a graphic designer. Yeah, laid it out. We had the logo made, and then she did all this kind of work for us. We got this wood. It's like reclaimed wood from an old barn. The first like 2 or 3 months that we got it, the guy who sold it to us was like calling to check on the wood, like it was his friend. Like it's an awesome company from like Appalachian Wood or something like that. So yeah, so this is like reclaimed barnwood, and one of our members painted that up for us. It's awesome.
Very cool. Is that bench part of it too?
The bench we found and bought somewhere else. This is like the world's heaviest bench. It was like an incredible workout just to get it down here. But yeah, we just tried to like kind of find different odds and ends that like fit the facility, but we're also functional because it's not the biggest place. So everything needs to have a purpose and a reason for being here. So a lot of people come in, put their stuff down because as I'll show you next, the other place we have to put your stuff down gets pretty crowded. So people just kind of leave their stuff. We're not a lot of access to the public here, so people feel pretty safe just leaving their stuff around.
Yeah, exactly. As we just saw walking in, it's not like you're going to get somebody just coming in asking, you know, what do you guys do here? Yeah, we'll talk more about that later. For sure. And you guys sell some of your stuff here as well.
Yeah, very little. The Jacked AF t-shirts have been like crazy popular. It's like the one thing that people like outside the gym seem to reach out for and like, hey, can I just buy one of those shirts off you? Which is cool. We'll get into like maybe some of the programming later, but we give each of our training phases a name. That was the name of one of them, was called Jacked AF.
Oh, cool.
We put it on a t-shirt and it just seemed to be like kind of our signature thing, so we just kept selling them.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. And they're going to come in, they're going to check in here?
Yeah, so they check in. We do have a part-time front desk person who's here in like the busier hours.
Yeah.
So she might check somebody in, or we just have this iPad here. It's with the Pike 13 software. It used to be called Front Desk. And they actually work synergistically with Train Heroic. So it's like kind of a combined subscription service that they have. So people just either, we have like a QR code that they can scan, or they just pop in their phone number and they're checked in for their session.
Very cool. The TV behind there, what is the purpose of that? Is it anything else going on, or just quotes?
It's quotes sometimes. We are huge fans of like all the iron sports, so we'll watch weightlifting. We'll watch CrossFit Games stuff.
Cool.
You know, the Arnold is on this weekend. We'll pop up anything that they stream over there. And then sometimes we'll get into like nature shows or just weird stuff that we like. So just some fun, something else to look at while you're in here.
Absolutely, very cool. I love this. This is for all you kids out there. That's Polaroid camera that they take them with. This is a wall. What's the purpose, or you know, the idea behind this wall?
You know, mostly decorative. To be honest, we always figured this was going to be like a little bit of a hangout space that people could like just come together after their session. You know, have some water, chill out, and you know, before they headed back out into the cold streets of New York City. But you know, we're very, very community-based gym here. You know, we don't have a huge membership. We never intended on having a huge membership. So people who are down here really know each other. They become friendly. And I think the Polaroids and just the cameras, or the photos, are just an extension of that. Like, you know, seeing people training hard, seeing the aftermath of a tough workout, just seeing people training together and the camaraderie that comes with that, and all that stuff just comes through with the photos, and it kind of fits with our aesthetic, you know. Yeah,
absolutely. I like all these little sayings. Welcome to Shredsville, baby.
Yeah, so that's the name of our current phase.
Oh, that's the okay. Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. All right, where do they go next?
So if they haven't dropped their stuff off over there, they might come around this corner here. We had this. This was made by like a family friend, this big hutch. So
very cool.
Yeah, it's got that reclaimed wood in the back too, with some hangers to put stuff. As you can probably see, we've allowed, when we were a small facility, we allowed people to leave their shoes here. That turned out to be a mistake because we are just overrun with gym and other shoes here. So people usually just leave their stuff in here for the time and grab it and go. And then if they have to change, I mean, this is like, you know, not the most exciting stuff in the world, but, you know, we have like some bathroom / changing rooms here. We have one shower.
Okay.
It's at the end there. It's New York City's best shower, but we only have one of them, but it's great. So once they're all set, and if they're grabbing like water or something, oftentimes they'll come onto this turfed area. So we have this turf. It's got some rubber underneath, so it's got a little squish to it.
Yeah, I can feel that walking on it. That's nice.
Yeah, and we do we usually start every session with some sort of warm up. Depending on phase to phase, that changes, but it's some sort of like movement prep. Either dynamic, sometimes even static stretching, almost always some sort of breathing drill. We found when we started incorporating like more like postural and breathing drills, our injury rates went down, people were moving better. This facility really prioritizes like good quality of movement, so we're always working towards that. And these kind of specific warm-ups, breathing drills have helped drive that.
Yeah,
because we don't have like we don't really tend to train current athletes here. We have a lot of former college athletes.
Yeah.
But these are not people who are, spending their whole day doing athletics and training. They're a lot locked into desk jobs and other things. So we really prioritize like movement and breaking out of some of those patterns.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that'll be 10, 12 minutes of the session. We'll start on this turf. We have some tools here that we use, crossover symmetry. If you look, this is just kind of like our soft tissue rack. So we have valve slides, we have yoga blocks. We pretty much grab modalities from anywhere we can. If it's yoga and it works for us, it's great. If it's breathing drills from like PRI or something like that, if it's physical therapy stuff, if it's FRC, if it's crossover symmetry stuff, if it's old school Vince Garanda, bodybuilding, whatever. We'll take from anywhere. We have no ego about it. We always claim we never invented anything. We just try to combine what we learned in a way that makes sense for us and a way that makes sense for our clients and just optimize that. So we'll just grab from anywhere we can, try to use the best tools that seem to fit the situation. And that's why we just kind of have, hip circles and yoga blocks and things that seem to be from opposite ends of like the training world. We'll try to incorporate all of that.
And you got to be creative with like what you're doing up here with these guys, with the TRX, etc.
Yeah. Again, it's a small facility. We're trying to drive people through. We usually have 2 groups going at a time. So everything's like a very well-oiled machine of putting people in the right place at the right time.
All about logistics.
Yeah,
man. The rest of it.
Oh yeah, Lan. So come back. So once they're done on the turf, majority of our sessions are strength-based. Again, being a smaller facility and just like kind of the training that we do, we don't have a lot of machines. So this is kind of our rack section here. 3 custom racks, 3 custom Penlay racks that we got from Muscle Driver. All our plates are bumper plates, Penlay bumper plates, competition plates. Everything in here, with the exception of our medicine balls and our dumbbells, is in kilos. So we're all kilo facility.
Okay.
We did that for a couple of reasons. One, it was kind of the professional standard for strength sports. It also, we thought it would get people out of their head about how much weight they were lifting, since that seems to be a concern for people. And most people can't do the conversions quick enough to figure out what they're actually lifting. And that's worked out really great for us. Competition kettlebells, bands, TRXs, specialty bars, axle bars, trap bars, things like that.
Did you have to get these custom made specifically?
Well, they're custom painted. They were a specific rack that Muscle Driver made. We got these half racks because they're what fit in the facility. When we first built them and tilted them up, we almost had a heart attack with how close they came to the ceiling, but they fit in nicely. They're great. We got, kind of an interesting side story. If you're opening a facility and want to have a heart attack, we were having a hard time getting the equipment. It kept getting delayed. We really couldn't open before we got it. I was calling them every day. Like 80% of our stuff was from Muscle Driver. And we probably got our last shipment of stuff from them 4 weeks before they declared bankruptcy and went out of business.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we really dodged a bullet and got stuff from them. But it was trying, and now in retrospect, I understand why. It's probably because they were like trying to, they were probably scrambling themselves, trying to, shut down operations or whatever. So, so like I said, mostly free weight based stuff, barbell, dumbbell. We try to kill the basics here. Deadlifts, pressing, pulling, chin-ups, real stuff that's been around forever. We arrange it in different and unique ways, but we're always working on getting good at those. So that's like kind of the strength area. We have all the equipment we got, including like the barbells, like those were all Penlay, Olympic lifting bars. The place was small enough. We were nerdy about this stuff. We care about it enough that we wanted to get really good equipment. The membership doesn't care what kind of dumbbells or barbells they're lifting on, but I feel like they do feel it when they're using it and appreciate it. And again, we're at a size and a price point where it made sense for us. The floor is all Plytech. We laid this ourselves. pretty much everything we did here, with the exception of the painting of the place, we did on our own.
Okay.
Yeah, we still have nightmares about it 2 years later, but it was tough. Yeah, but we like laid the platforms in, cut all the wood, everything, pretty much everything you see here.
Yeah.
The other, yeah.
No, I was gonna say, like, even over here, I'm looking over here, like you with the barbells, you're always gotta find some creative place to put stuff.
Yeah. So we thought we're huge fans of Olympic weightlifting. We thought we were gonna have a little bit more of an Olympic weightlifting component when we opened the gym.
Yeah.
That turned out not to be exactly where the business went. And again, when you're starting a place, you need to be adaptable.
Yeah.
We still compete in weightlifting ourselves on occasion. So we also got 2 full Eleiko training sets. Those are Eleiko lifting bars there. We built these benches with the plate storage underneath.
Oh, that's why the benches are there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
And a couple more racks here. It's also so people still they spend their rest periods over there. Sometimes they'll hang out over after sessions. As you can see, our conditioning is pretty high energy and intense. So people will sit and cheer on other members from there too. So
cool.
it's fun.
Again, double purpose here.
Yeah.
Olympic lifting platform.
Yeah.
Weightlifting platform with put the bikes there when you're not.
Yeah. We use every inch of space pretty much every day.
And you got some. What do you got? Some over there. You got.
So we got 2 Trueform treadmills. Those are self-powered. We're just storing the plyo boxes on top of them now while they're out of use.
Okay.
But so those are 2 Trueform treadmills, self-powered. 2 Concept 2 ski ergs. We have 2 Concept 2 rowing ergs. And then the assault bikes, which are probably the most deadly piece of equipment in the whole place. I'm sure all your viewership is familiar with it.
Sure.
And then we have landmines and other specialty things. But again, real basic equipment just to get the job done.
What's going on the wall? You're doing a lot of kind of just their times and stuff.
Yeah. So basically, if you look at the walls, even here. And you see, there's a lot of writings on the wall here. We're only 3 or 4 days into our latest training phase, so we work in 4-week training phases, and we write down the results for our main strength work and our conditioning work for each of our clients every day.
Yeah.
So the walls just end up getting covered by the end of the month.
Yeah.
It looks like a scene out of A Beautiful Mind in here by the time we're done.
Cool.
So our walls are covered in whiteboard paint, that whole gray strip, so you can write on it with special markers.
Yeah.
And it's just another way of being able to track and keep people accountable and have a really good idea from week to week of where they ended up on a certain exercise last time, so we can adjust the weights based on intensity and volume for the next week.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's go have a seat and we'll talk some business.
Yeah, man.
All right, great stuff. Love the gym. Love the way you're using the space, which is that's a really important, underrated thing for gym owners to remember. And when you're in a small space like this, you got to be really organized. So very cool.
For sure.
First, I want to give you this. This is a present from Marigold Bars. It's just a sample pack of their snacks and their bars. They sponsor the show now, and they're able. I'm able to do this more now because of them. And this stuff is really good.
Awesome.
All natural, no GMO, all good ingredients. I wouldn't give it to you if it was,
all right.
What's that?
Great.
So, but Marigold's I'm really appreciating them. They got the gold seal there.
All right.
So that's for you guys.
Awesome. Thanks.
To sample. Let's just talk about New York City. I mean, shit.
Sure.
We showed everybody the location kind of coming down. What challenge is that for you? I mean, because nobody's walking by. I mean, if they do, they're thinking maybe it's an S&M club with the Ford, maybe that's a mask or something. What's the challenge for you marketing-wise?
Well, it's interesting because nobody's walking by our door, and even now there's a huge construction site next door that's covering us up even more. But nobody's walking by, looking at what the Ford is, and going through 7 doors into a basement to find it. So we can't really rely on walk-by traffic or big street signs or anything like that. I mean, this is a historic district. You can only even put up so much signage outside. So there's really limited just kind of that free advertising of people walking by.
Yep.
So marketing has been, it's interesting. We've spent, I can pretty much say close to $0 on marketing. Majority of it started with our, see you, Sheldon, see you, Dennis. It started with the clients that we already had.
Yep.
That was kind of our base. And then it grew from once they kind of bought into this concept, referring people that they knew.
Yep.
Then some people found it on like Google Maps and stuff and started checking it out, and kind of that it grew that way. You know, I can still remember our first stranger, like the first person who had no connection to anything walking in, and she's still a member of the gym.
It's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, she's like, well, yeah, how'd you find us? And then we've been lucky enough to have a lot of fitness professionals find the gym, start training here, be so kind of captivated and intrigued and just kind of bought into it so much that they do a lot of social media posts from here. Again, this is like kind of on their own volition. I think just because they're enthused about the place and they like us, and I think they want to support us and support what we're doing. And a lot of people see that. They're like, hey, I saw this person from Peloton on your Instagram. I saw my yoga teacher comes here. You know, I think a lot of strength professionals understand that like there's so much trendy stuff out there that is just kind of fly by night, not proven, not necessarily that effective. Maybe it's fun, people enjoy it, but they're looking for something that will drive results, because now a lot of fitness pros in particular, they're on camera all the time. You know, like people from Peloton are on camera all the time. That's their job. So they want to make sure they're looking good, that they're strong, that they're living the lifestyle that they're trying to sell to their membership. And they've incorporated us as part of that, which is, you know, a huge honor for us that people in the industry would flock here. So like those have kind of been the factors. Other than that, we haven't done a Facebook ad, we haven't done a big sign out, we haven't printed up one postcard.
Yeah, you don't even have like an A-frame out.
No, we just rely on people, and in New York City that kind of plays because it's like kind of the unknown, underground, exclusive thing. People are into that.
Yes, absolutely.
So we
like
have
a speakeasy.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of that vibe going for us. So we just tried to play to those strengths.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have a huge budget for marketing. People don't do this. It's you know, if people who are watching this understand what hard training is, the majority of the population does not understand what hard training is. So to sell them on something like this was tough, but I think people realize the authenticity of training this way.
Yeah. Do you do anything specifically with the members, like a referral program? Is there anything that you're doing specifically? Like a lot of people will reward people, will actually actively go for people to say, hey guys, if you refer somebody, we're gonna give you a free month, whatever.
Right. You know, we don't do that, and I'll tell you why. In my previous position, worked in a facility with similar client base, and anytime we tried to do that, because it's a little bit more of an affluent client base, they were more appreciative of like, give my friend the discount, I don't want it. So when people here refer someone, we're always real quick to give them, you know, that referred person a free session. Come in, bring them in, have them train with you. And that's worked out great, much more than like kind of any organized program is. We printed up gift cards to give to people, like come in and get 3 free sessions. It just never really went anywhere. It's the place, again, like I said earlier, it's so community based that if you just treat your clientele kind of like family, talk to them like normal people and be like, hey, listen, of course we would love for your friend to be here. You know, we could use the business. If you're saying they're cool, I'm sure they would fit in. Bring them in, see if they like it. There's no obligation. There's no sales pitch. You don't need to go to an office to talk to somebody. You know, you're always talking to basically the people who work here. And if it's for them, great, and they're usually happy to sign up and do it. And if it's not, we understand fully that this is not for everybody. So.
Absolutely. What's been the challenge for you then? I mean, right now, so far, it's like sounds pretty easy. I mean, you know, you came down here, things were pretty, you know, you already had a good base clientele, and things are going well. Your members are referring other members. You kind of got a really good thing going here. What's the challenge for you?
Well, I mean, the list of challenges from when we opened till now would be very, very long. You know, the main challenge is obviously there's growing pains. You know, we've expanded a lot this year in our membership, making sure, and you know, because it's only four people per class, because people tend to want to gang up and train at the same times, just based on schedules. You know, keeping all our membership happy while still being able to expand the membership in a way that makes sense for our business plan and hitting the numbers of total membership that we want to. You know, that's a challenge, that balance of keeping our current clientele membership happy while growing. You know, New York City's tough. Finding the real estate, the space, we wanted a basement space, we knew that. Finding one with high enough ceilings where we could put weight overhead was challenging. That had a certificate of occupancy that worked for a gym. It's a rarity.
Yeah.
And, again, like I said, like we talked about in the beginning, the prices for memberships might be shocking to people who are in Des Moines. The pricing of what a basement in New York City costs would be even more shocking.
Yeah, and everybody understands that here too.
So it's tough to kind of find that sweet spot of like, what are people willing to pay, get the value out of it that makes sense as a business in a brick and mortar location, really in the middle of New York City in what is probably the hottest fitness district maybe in the country.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I'm doing 3 episodes today, and I'm just walking around. It's pretty easy to, and I could do 10 more, really, and not really blink an eye.
Yeah.
What about, in terms of expansion, we talked about that. I know when I looked at my at 500 Fitness, one thing that kind of attracted me was, all right, I'm in the basement, I got the hallway, I know no one else is down here, there's a couple rooms that are, maybe eventually I can get in. I don't think anyone else is going to want to come in the basement. For you, what if you did want to expand? Is there that possibility? Because, you spend so much effort and time, beautiful things, putting them up, and then, if you want to get another 1,000 square feet, you got to move somewhere. What do you think about that?
I think if we expand it in that way, New York City is so compartmentalized and neighborhood based that if you live one neighborhood away, this might be out of your realm of where you might even go. Whereas someone in a suburb to drive 10 minutes to a gym is not that would be considered normal. So the expansion I don't think would be the facility itself. It would probably be multiple facilities in different neighborhoods.
Okay.
So an Upper East Side client, for instance,
they're not coming here.
They're not coming here.
People don't understand.
And even though that's it's 3 miles away.
Yeah.
But in New York City, that's a world away.
What people have to understand is in New York, on a street like 23rd Street, for example, there are subway stops, and if there's a subway stop that's out or closed, the businesses on that side of the street will be completely affected.
Sure.
As opposed to the side where, let's say, more people are on the south side of the street. And it's funny, it's hard to explain to people who don't live in New York City.
Yeah.
But and also, we're such creatures of habit. We walk certain ways.
Sure.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's a city of massive convenience.
Yeah.
So, if something's out of your normal routine, you're probably not going there.
Yeah, I had some golfers that asked me, they lived on the Upper West Side, they said, hey, can you recommend a golf place in the city? I said, drive 495, it's down on Spring Street and, Broad on Houston and Spring. They're like, no, that's too much for me. I'm not going down there.
Yeah.
So you think, so for you, is there any idea for possibly thinking about that, or are you taking one step at a time?
We're taking it one step at a time. We want to solidify this place and really make this kind of the flagship. And as the place grows, we like to get this to capacity, make sure that we can run it, that our systems work. We've expanded very slowly to make sure that the experience was always great for people, that the training made sense, that we can manage the flow of the space. It's a huge important factor when you're in a little bit of a tight space with this many people. So we would want to make sure we keep nailing that. And then originally, I would say for sure, our thought was to expand to different neighborhoods and then possibly different cities. That's a possibility. And then there's some challenges with that too. A lot of, this is a very, very high-touch, service-based thing, and people come because the owners are here and we train people. Sure. We've trained our training staff. And people feel that and they appreciate that and they feel that's part of the reason to have a membership at a higher price point. And we're definitely hesitant to just install other people who don't have that kind of knowledge base, passion for the business or whatever. So that would be a challenge to opening it up to other places. Yeah. Plus, like we've learned, just brick and mortar in New York City is very, very challenging. Yes. So. We consider that, and that was certainly the idea when we started, and it still might come to fruition that way once we kind of establish this as like fully running, fully operational, fully full. And then, it seems to be that fitness is going, people are much more willing to do it digitally, and, to kind of expand this training out kind of beyond the four-wall experience.
Yeah.
And use this almost as like the hub of developing content.
Yeah.
So people can still feel like they're part of the culture and part of the community, but being able to do it wherever they are.
Yeah.
I think, I brought up Peloton before. I think a company like Peloton has proven that people will buy into that kind of concept.
Sure.
Because you still need the energy of knowing the people are on your side, knowing people are watching it. You have expertise involved, and you have people vested in your training.
Yeah.
So that would have to be pervasive still. But I think we can blow that out kind of to the masses without having to put a storefront in every city in the country.
Yeah. Another thing is, we're talking a little bit about Train Heroic and like adding an additional revenue stream. When you do something like that, again, we were talking, the hidden value is the value add of being able to ramp people up, being able to give people programs. If you're going away, great, here's your program in your hotel gym. But also, there's this idea of different programs. So if somebody says, listen, I live on the Upper East Side, and I want to come down here once a week because I work downtown. I'm going to come here once a week, but I'm a member of a gym somewhere else too.
Right.
They can come in here once a week and kind of combine the technology piece with still coming to the fore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. If you're, if the price point is too challenging for you, I mean, we have a membership that's twice a month in here, plus the program on the app.
Okay,
so that's a way lower price point, and people can still come in, we can still watch them, we can work on certain technical things that might need to be worked on, but then they could have the whole program. The other thing is, and from Train Heroic, they have like leaderboards available. When you're in a program, you can still feel like you're part of the community, because quite honestly, this training is very hard. And you want to feel like other people are doing it. It's very hard to just get up and be like, I'm going to do a 100-calorie assault bike for time when no one else is doing it. So the more that you can feel like other people are in it with you, the better. And I think, as technology improves, we're kind of expanding that concept of you don't have to be in the same room with people to feel like you're in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Let's finish up on, in the restaurant business, they always say about check average, right? So, okay, you're at a table, if you can get them to have an app, if you can get them to have wine, if you can get them to have a dessert, right? The check is going to be larger. Instead of getting new people in, we got these people here. So with you, with the add-ons we have, so we saw some of the shirts, etc., but you're also, you have some meals and I see some other stuff in the refrigerator. What else do you guys offer people?
We offer, quite honestly, things that we found that more was about how it can enhance the person's life or experience and less about driving profits, right? It just seems to be kind of the zeitgeist of how we do things here. Right? I'm sure if we put 6 people in a group instead of 4 people in a group, we could drive our profit margins up. But it wouldn't be what we want to do, right? We wouldn't be able to give people the attention. It's the same thing with the drinks. The drinks are very basic. We have a couple of energy drinks. I'd be lying if I said we didn't drink them ourselves, because we do. We're down here in a basement for a long part of the day, so we use those. We use Fit Aids. People really like them. It's almost like a reward system after their, water, some other things. The Deliciously Fit meals, besides people doing their orders, we get restocked with every week. So if one of our members needs a meal to make their, if they have some macronutrient targets or whatever, it's all laid out for them so they can grab a lunch and take it with them, which is nice.
Absolutely.
We're huge fans of Bomba socks. We just found them to be ones we used. So we ordered a bunch for the gym so people can use them. Some people were having a hard time with their wrists on front squats. We ordered a bunch of Inter wrist wraps. You need a pair. Buy them, People wanted t-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff like that. They were demanding that more than we wanted to even necessarily get in that business. So we just ordered a bunch and made it happen. Even, we don't really sell a lot of supplements. This is New York City, there's a lot of clients who have troubles with sleep. We use Z12 ourselves a few times. We bought Z12 just to resell it. Like it doesn't drive us any money. It's just like, oh, you're having a hard time. We're invested in your success. Sleeping is part of your training and life success.
Exactly.
So here you go.
I agree. I mean, not to be a salesman, but that's again for me with Marigold was like I finally found somebody who cool. I can trust this bar. I like this bar. There's no crap in it. I'm not trying to sell it to people in terms of making a lot of money. I want them to have a good bar, that's something that tastes good, that's good for them. Same thing, Superhuman Strength is a supplement company. I'm using their recovery. They have a segment on the podcast. They're educating people. It's all about that. It took me a long time to find these type of people. So I know what you mean by that. So, but very cool. I love this place. It's just such a great feeling once you get through that door,
Yeah.
which I kind of like too. Is like you're kind of like, where am I going?
Yeah.
And then bam, you come in, you get the nice wood. So very cool. Dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing
Anthony.
this, man.
Yeah, of course,
Really
man. It's a
appreciate
pleasure.
You're doing some great stuff out there. So
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.